This episode of the Morning Brew is brought to you by There's Nailing in My Toilet, launching on Kickstarter, January 3rd, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, only here on Catch the Craze. Good morning, good morning, good morning. What's up, everybody? All you crazies out there across the US or across the globe, wherever you're watching. If you're watching on Twitch, Facebook, or YouTube, thank you for joining me this morning, this fabulous morning, Thursday morning on the Morning Brew with the Crazee Crew. George will not be here. Apparently, he's the snowstorm in Chicago was bad, and so he's stuck there through New Year's. So he was supposed to be back in New York, and he won't be. So it's just me riding this ship solo. So thank you all for joining this morning. And so we'll see how long this episode goes. There's an article that I do want to read and talk about today. Some drama going on overseas at a comic event. But like I said at the beginning of this episode, next week, just a few days away, there's an Alien My Toilet book number 4 launches on Kickstarter. Book number 4, Gotcha. Duty and Herman return with their drama. They're determined to get each other, while the government is determined to track down the alien that crashed on Earth. So join us right here on Catch the Craze, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we will be reflecting on the previous 3 issues and talking to some surprise guests. We're gonna have some pop-ins, and it's gonna be a fun show. It's gonna be a really fun show, and I hope that you join us on Tuesday for the launch party again of the Lady in My Toilet book number 3. And if you haven't signed up already, actually book number 4, if you haven't signed up already, I please do. And so that way you'll be notified when we launch. And I'm going to hit that launch button when we go live immediately. So it's going to be fun. Let's see what's going on. Also, have you checked out The Art of Samuel? The Art of Samuel right now. I relaunched my art channel in December, a few weeks ago. And I do want to say thank you to the 131 new subscribers to the channel. I mean, you guys rock. You guys are fantastic. There's a lot of engagement, requests. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. That tells me that, number 1, you like my content, and number 2, I'm getting better as an artist. So thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. And if you haven't checked out any of the previous episodes, currently right now the newest episode is Inking Tools for Beginners. And again, this is for beginners, like real beginners. And I walk you through all the inking tools that I have. And again, I do stipulate the fact that I'm not a pro inker. I am a growing inker, a learning inker, an evolving inker. But I want to share with you some of the tools and one of the books that really got me through and actually is helping me through this process. And this coming Sunday, every Sunday is a new episode. This coming Sunday, quick solutions for art storage. I have a problem, and I think I solved it. And we're going to walk through how I tackle this small closet space and what I do to create more organization for all of my books and prints and all that stuff. And that's this Sunday on The Art of Samuel. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go out and do so. It's a really cool show. I'm having fun doing it. But yeah, so that's pretty dope. And then finally, if you haven't gotten any of the hoodies and cool swag, we got some shirts, we got some hoodies, and there's going to be some really cool new graphics coming out this spring for a new shirt graphics. So look out for that. So there's going to be some things that's changing on the Catch the Craze roster for the new year, because as you all know that I was on a job hunt. My journey as a brokepreneur has come to a close, and so I'm going back into the workforce, and I will be starting on the 9th my new role with a new organization out here in Texas. So that means the Morning Brew, we don't know how that will work because I won't know my schedule until I get there. And so we're gonna put that on pause for a second. So that might wind up being like every other week or once a month. We're not sure just yet. And this is the reason why, for those of you who have been watching Catch the Craze, you've seen us significantly stream down. We were doing 4 interviews a week, right? So Tuesdays and Wednesdays, we had 2 guests on Tuesdays, 2 guests on Wednesdays. We had the Morning Brew, we had the What's in the Box, we had the Crazy and Tell Less, all these things. And so I really streamed down in preparation for the fact that I would be going back to work. So now we're just down to 1 guest a week on Tuesdays. And for everybody out there who's been trying to get on Catch the Craze, because we've been booked through February, because of your Kickstarters and all that other stuff. The only other way to get on Catch the Craze, if when we're booked, if you want us to make an accommodation, is through sponsorship. That's it. It's a $35 sponsorship. Um, we'll adjust our schedule. We'll work with you to figure out how to get you on the show to promote your Kickstarter. But outside of that, when we're booked, there's no other chance. That's why we say book 3 months in advance. So I do want to repeat that. So if we're booked and you decide, hey, my campaign is only 2 weeks left, and I really need some support, I need to get on some shows, and you reach out to us and we're already booked, the only other way to get on the show is by hitting that sponsorship button, paying that $35, because it requires George and I to adjust our schedule to meet you halfway, to be able to spotlight you and give you that promo. That's it. Either that or book in advance, 3 months in advance. Those are only 3 months in advance. It's a free. Anything that requires us to change up, it is a fee. So simple as that, because I've been getting a lot of questions, and it's not that complicated. So we're willing to work with you, but if we have to adjust, there's got to be something in it for us. So yeah, so that's that. And so yeah, we're excited. The channel, we're getting close to episode 500. So we're putting a challenge out there. We're gonna have the first ever annual Crazies Award. Crazies Awards, and the categories are coming out. And the categories about the guests, and so we're gonna be talking about that next week when George is back, and in detail. But look for that. And so episode 500, if you're a fan of Catch the Craze, and you think you have the artistic chops or the creative chops, we're having a contest as well. Show us a dance move, a dance skit to the opening theme song of the show, or write your own jingle for Catch the Craze, with music. Be creative. Come up with some sort of skit for Catch the Craze. Enter for a chance to win. And everybody who submits a skit, whether it's you're doing a jingle, whether you're doing a dance performance, or you're reenacting George and I, you get with a buddy and you're trying to mimic me and George, come up with some sort of comedy skit. We're going to put you in a raffle, and for a chance to win a hoodie, to win a pillow, to win some really cool stuff, really cool swag. It's going to be fun. We're excited about this, but also the Crazies Awards. So the first annual Crazies is going to be an annual tradition. And so every year, so we're going to kick it off this year for 2023. And it's going to be basically about all our guests in 2022. And we have multiple categories. And the winners of the categories, here's the deal. So we have the Crazies Award. The winners of the categories will get a 30-second promo on our show, where we'll plug whatever commercial you have. You create the commercial, we'll promote it on our show, and we'll promote it all over on social media that you are an official winner, and with links to wherever it is that you want us to direct people to. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's the Crazy Awards. There's multiple categories like best guest, there's a bunch of them. We'll talk about it when George gets back. So I look forward to that. It's going to be fun. And we're going to have some sort of badge or whatever. So we're working out the details. And we're always hoping to talk about it today, but we're not going to do that. So, but in other news, besides the Art of Samuel, and I will be planning my schedule appearances once I start working. So I can't, I have several events I want to attend. I'm not doing San Diego this year. I'm not doing any of the big giant shows this year. But I am going to try to keep it to just Texas and maybe Florida. but I can't book anything until I know what my schedule looks like with this new organization that I'm joining next in on the 9th. Um, but on the other side, I read this article for anybody out there who's interested in this article. I just gotta find it. Where is it? There it is. Here it is. So, French Comic Festival pulls guest of honor after critics said his work promotes child abuse. Okay, so before I read the article, just the headline alone, if it is true, if there's any truth to that headline, why would it be a guest of honor, right? But you know, international laws are very different. They vary in country to country. So who am I to say, you know, they're right or wrong? But so when I started reading it, so it says, warning, this story contains graphic descriptions some readers may find disturbing. So now they put this warning label on this news article. So it must be bad. So why would a Comic Con want to put themselves through that? So the Angoulême International Comics Festival, the second largest of such events in Europe. This is the second largest. So you have vetting people. What's the matter, you, huh? Has removed French illustrator Bastien Vives as its guest amid fresh criticism that his work promotes incest, pedophilia, and child pornography. The convention is a 4-day event, the 26th to 7th to 8th. Yeah, it's a 4-day event from the January 26th to the 29th. The guest of honor typically produces and designs an exhibition of wholly original artwork that would debut at the festival and be on view until March 12th. However, the announcement prompted international headlines, several detailed explainers, and an online petition garnering more than 110,000 signatures. Ay, Chihuahua. Vives has work has so again well, this news article, they have a lot of typos. His work has drawn critical acclaim and controversy in equal measure, in particular 3 of his books, right, which portray sex scenes between several children and their siblings, parents, and a male adult friend of the family. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good at all. One young farmer boy who appears in 2 of these books receives extra sexual attention from oh geez, yeah, that's not good. So yeah, now it's dude, how did he even get past, right? And so in response to the online, some stores in France have chosen not to stock the book. Oof. Emma, a French cartoonist who went viral for her online comic on the invisible mental load of women, has publicly criticized the Board of Comics Festival's work on her social channels. She denounced the violence. Anyway, so he claims that it's his he has the freedom of expression to express whatever it is, and him and his publisher are fighting back. Dude, maybe back in the days, not today. Maybe back in, I'm sure there's like a cult following for what you produce, but now I get it. So yeah, so he got stripped down. And now there's going to be a backlash with his books in stores. So again, so that's where I think people need to be mindful too. I think what happens is we do have creative expression freedom, but I think there's specific rules that you have to abide by. There's some things that lines you don't want to cross. Once you cross that threshold, you have to accept what comes with it, right? You know, so if you're gonna go into that dark realm, there are things that come with it. And I don't know if I'm a creator, I'm willing to take that risk and break those barriers. I'd rather stay in the lane and create fun. Like for instance, like there's the end of my toilet. I say all ages. Why? Because it's really up to the parent to decide whether or not their child, based on the child's age, can read it. I'm not telling you, hey, get it for your child who's 5 years old. You're the parent. What I say, parent, read it, and then you make the decision. It's not my call. I'm just telling a story that I love. I say it's all ages because it's funny, it's slapstick, but there are adult themes, right? So there's a government agency. The government agency has weapons. They have vehicles, right? The things that you see adults carry, right? No one's getting shot. You know, no one. There's no like gratuitous violence. There's slapstick humor, but there's violence. Like you'll see an explosion and hurt. Next, you know, Herman's in a pile of rubble, right? So those kind of things. So, which is why it's up to the parents, not up to me. My job is not to impose what I think you should do as a parent. My job is to create my story, and if it appeals to you and you like it, because it's funny, but there are some, I think you need to know what your kids are reading, and watching, and you should have a say in it because you are the parent, not me. I'm just a creative, and so as long as I don't, I think one of the things like YouTube has this disclaimer: is your stuff for kids, right? And what they don't want is you soliciting to kids, saying it's for kids, and there's adult theme stuff, whatever. So I don't have time to read all of the rules. So what I do is I put no, right? Now, if a parent runs into my channel, my art channel, and says, "Well, yeah, I want Timmy to watch this," then that's the parent's decision. But I put no because I don't even want to get caught up in all that stuff, right? Because there's when you look at these policies or these disclaimers or whatever it is, or there's so much in there, and so the safest bet is to say no. I have adult conversations with adult artists. There's no nudity on my art channel, but I'm playing it safe, not for kids. You're the adult. You make the decision. And so that's what's happening. So on my art channel, what's happening is the adults finding it, and then next you know, they're letting their kid respond and ask me questions. I get requests to draw duty in different themes and all that other stuff. So, but again, so I'm putting the ownership on the adult, and I'm just the creative, and I'm just creating. So that's what I say to everybody else. Um, Play it safe, have a disclaimer, make sure people understand that, hey, whenever I have a guest and that guest has potty mouth, I put up the disclaimer, right? The adult content disclaimer, immediately. Like I don't even bat an eye. Boom, it just shows up right on the screen. So I think that's what something in today's world, because um, you don't know. You don't want any, the what's it, the bait and switch. People bait you in to click on something, and then when you get there, it's really not what it is. I saw an article where I forgot what it was. I don't know if it was a YouTuber or anyway. Apparently, they're being sued because they made. Oh, it was movie trailers. The movie industry, they're being sued because the trailers are misleading the consumer. So they see something on a trailer and they don't get what they see on the film. I don't understand the relevance. I don't understand who came up with this. I mean, we're in Sioux City. I mean, you sneeze and you get a particle close to somebody, you're getting, you sued because you almost dropped the Rona on somebody. So, but that's the world we live in, right? So I think as a comic creator, my recommend is to take precaution. Make sure you have disclaimers where warranted. Know your audience. Don't impose, uh, and don't try to justify. When I'm at a comic con, I say all ages, and whenever I get a question, but like how young, I said that's for you to decide. I said pick up the book, read it, and you determine if you want to let your child read it. And so now they're like, oh, okay. Well, thank you for letting me know that. I see it because I don't want to say, yeah, Timmy can read it. He's 1 year old with a rattle in his hand, right? No, right? So it's really up to the adult, and that's where I leave it. What are your thoughts on that? Do you have a different opinion on this whole subject? Let us know. Put it in the comments below. Um, but yeah, I found the article fascinating. That was the only article that I found this morning that I was actually caught my attention because it happens so many times where I guess people, I guess the industry, I guess he's a big name, so which is why he was the guest of honor at the second biggest comic event in Europe, in all of Europe. And so because of that, they're like, no one's gonna say anything. We're not gonna say anything until someone said something, right? So two things can happen. Um, by them removing him quickly, they get a lot of brownie points. So now more free media attention to the event, which is now going, so if they sold 50,000 tickets, they're selling 100,000 tickets now because of this publicity, right? So it could have been a good move on their part from a marketing strategy. Say, hey, let's wait to see someone say something because we'll just capitalize from the press and we'll do what they want us to do, right? Which is the safest bet. But never put yourself out there. It's not worth it. It's not worth it, especially when you put all your time and energy into creative. But I mean, apparently he's been doing this for a long time, and it's been okay in that circle. So it is what it is. But I thought I'd also show you some of the things I have planned for 2023 with Mr. Dudarius Uranius. And so that book 4 launches next week. That's the cover for book 4, where Herman's in a pile of rubble. You're like, how did he get there? Well, if you see the landing page for the Kickstarter, Herman is tied up, and Duty's just munchiando. He's just got himself a burger and some chips and a drink, and that couch is tore up, and Herman is tied up. So that's the standard cover, and that's next week. And there's only one additional variant cover in this campaign, which is this one. It's the homage to Sergeant Rock. And I think it was Sergeant Rock number, I forgot which number, but it was that's 1977 issue of Sergeant Rock. So 2 reasons why, for everybody's like, why, everyone's picking these Spider-Man variants and this variant and that variant. Why would you go to Sergeant Rock? I'll tell you why. Glad you asked. Sergeant Rock is the first comic book I've ever purchased on my own with my own money. I was a big G.I. Joe fan. I was a big G.I. Joe toy collector when I was a kid. I went to the candy store. I was there to get some jellyfishes and junk food, and I saw the spinner rack. And on the spinner rack was Sergeant Rock, and I picked it up. That's number 1. Number 2 is, in this episode, Duty's becomes a soldier. And like, how does Duty become a soldier? Well, you got to find out to pick up this episode. So I just thought it was fitting because there's a lot of characters in this episode. And so I thought that, the red with the simple line work with the characters in the background, with Duty, the pop of color in the front, I thought it was a beautifully illustrated cover, and I just wanted to do that. So that's issue number 4, which is launching next week. And then here is the cover to issue number 5. So the cover is done. And in fact, I just finished illustrating the 21 pages yesterday for issue number 5, which is crazy because that doesn't come out for till the summer. And but issue number 5, I start age number 22 today, so I'll be done with issue. And I think issue number 5 probably has more pages than its predecessors. I think it has about 25 pages. So that's the cover. Who me? And then you can see there's a silhouette of a shadow of Agent Doe entering Bobby's room, and then so I had to sneak. There's Duty pretending to hide and be a teddy bear on the bookshelf next to a teddy bear, and Cosmic Golf on the poster. So that's pretty cool. And then there's the cover for 6, Peekaboo ICU. You're like, what's going on there? Why are all those woodlife animals on a lineup? Well, again, you have to find out. And there goes Agent Doe again. Agent Doe's on a mission, man. He's not playing. He's not playing. And there's that's cover to 7. And again, the world is coming after Duty, and it's getting close. Duty's got to figure out a game plan because it's getting crazy. So there's that cover. So again, you see Agent Doe. Agent Doe plays a significant role going forward in the next 7 issues of Disney. Remember, it's a 12-part miniseries. And then finally, here's the cover for the graphic novel Volume 1, which launches in spring. So April 4th is the Kickstarter for the graphic novel. And so that's the cover there. So I'm way ahead of the curve with where I'm going with the series. And by the time July comes, I will probably have the 5, 6, 7, 8 issues already done by the time summer comes along. So I'm excited about that. So this campaign is going to be fun. There's a lot of cool stuff in this campaign. And also, again, like I said, if you come along and you come back for the campaign and you back us again, if you backed us previously, you back us again at a physical level and get a copy, you're going to get this free enamel pin of the iconic. This is the first illustration of Duty that I did. This is a 3D rendering of it, but this is the iconic pin, and then you get it from me as a way of saying thank you. And Also, if you are a fan of Duty, you've picked up the books, you bought the shirts or whatever it is, send us some selfies. Send me a testimonial, uh, whether it's video or written. Um, or if you want to come on the show when we launch next Tuesday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it's 6:30 Central. If you want to come on for 5 minutes and tell us why you enjoy reading the series and who's your favorite character, I'd love to have you on. Just let me know. Hit me up and I'll send you a StreamYard link so you can join us live for the live launch. And I want to make it a party. I want to make it fun. I'm really excited about this. I'm trying to get as much work done in the next 10 days before I start working because I'm not sure what my schedule is going to look like. So it's going to, it's going to be interesting. And so we have several milestones. Number one, book number 4, starting a new year with book number 4. Number 2, we're getting close to 500 episodes on Catch the Craze podcast. Catch the Craze is slowly growing. The art channel relaunched in December and it's growing quickly. And so, George is going to be doing a crowdfunder for Russ 5377. You know, Anibal has been working on projects for others. He's been like the editor on a project, so he's making moves. And our boy Johnny Syfax is doing well, and he's traveling the U.S. right now. For some reason, he decided to travel to Chicago during the bomb storm or blizzard, whatever. I'm like, he has a map. He has 2 weeks off, and he looks at the map. He's like, why is that all whited out? I think I'll go there, right? Not watching the news and looking at what's happening. So for all of you out there affected by the storms, I hope that you're safe. Stay warm, stay safe. I know that the weather climate's been a little nutty. Um, really nutty. But yeah, and shout out to everybody in 2022, all the guests who've come on Catch the Craze in 2022. Thank you for coming on the show. We appreciate you. We appreciate your support. We hope 2023 is a good year. If you watched the Crazy Nintendo the last episode that I did, it was about dropping resolutions and sticking to affirmations. And check out that episode. I'm not a believer in resolutions because growing up, I've seen people make all these New Year's resolutions and a few weeks later forgot that they even made it. And so I stick to daily affirmations. Wake up in the morning, um, and whatever it is that you want to do. I'm an artist, I'm a great artist, I'm a skilled artist. Whatever it is that you want to make sure that you believe and you say into existence. Just reaffirm it every day, and I believe that when you do that subconsciously, you start believing it, and then you start behaving that way, and things just start happening naturally. I think resolutions are one and dones. You know what I mean? Good morning, Aurelius. Resolutions are one and done. You can just say it once and then boom, and it's gone. And then you could just say, oh, well, I was gonna go on a diet, but you know what? I like cake. You know, where affirmations, the way I do it is I have it on my phone, right? And then I just open up my notes on my phone and I read what I wrote. You know, when I was in retail, I wanted to be a really good coach. I wanted to be a better leader for my team. So I used to say, I'm an inspiring leader. I'm a motivational leader. I'm a great listener. I would say these things all the time so I can be that. You know what I'm saying? So I knew that if I believed it, I would eventually become it. And I would do that all the time because being responsible for others is a big responsibility and requires a lot. So I wanted to make sure that I held myself accountable to growing, to being able to listen better, to be able to provide the guidance and support that was required of me. Same thing in anything you want to do. If you're a first time parent, there's no playbook on how to be a parent. You learn as you go. It's when the child gets sick, you got to figure it out as you go. When child gets bullied, or all these things that you got to deal with. A child gets pimples for the first time and doesn't like the way it makes them feel. No one prepares you to be a therapist, because you got to be a therapist. You got to be emotionally stable to be able to support the child. You got to be sensible. You got to be able to listen. So all those things. So I know that if for me with my animals, there was a point where I didn't realize they get sick just like we do, so I want to be a better, a pet owner, a parent to my little furry animals, right? So I would say these things and it would help me grow as a human being. That's it. So if you're going to choose between, New Year's resolution and affirmation, I say drop the resolution, stick to affirmation, and say it daily. Don't miss a day. Get up every morning. The first thing you do, just repeat all the things that you want to reaffirm to yourself. And you'll realize after a few weeks, you start becoming that which you aspire to be. Um, and it really just requires you a couple of minutes of your time in the morning to just reinforce it, because and I do it in the bathroom because I say it and then I look at myself in the mirror, and then I say a prayer right afterwards, and that's my routine, So I think the biggest thing, you got to find what works for you, and I do wish everybody out there a really great and prosperous new year in this really unpredictable climate that we're in. And hopefully take the lessons from 2022 and don't repeat them in 2023. You know, and For anybody who's doing Kickstarters, plan ahead. Watch the 3 episodes with JD Calderon that we did. We did three episodes with JD Calderon on how to plan for a Kickstarter, how to run a Kickstarter, and how to close out a Kickstarter, and what do you do, beginning, middle, and end. It's 3 episodes. Check it out on Cash the Craze. It's in the archives. Don't wake up one morning and say, I'm going to just drop a Kickstarter right now, because you're going to set yourself up for failure. Don't start a Kickstarter and you have no content on the page. You're setting yourself up for failure. Don't start a Kickstarter for the first time and say, I'm on $20,000. You're setting yourself up for failure, right? So there's a lot of simple things to avoid. Simple things. Don't assume that you're smarter than the system. The system is built a way to help you be successful. When you believe that you're smarter and you're going to circumvent what's already there, there are people who are successful who've done it. Follow their formula. Talk to the people. Go to podcasts. Check out the episodes where we had with people who are successful with their Kickstarters on Cash the Craze. There's a lot out there for you to really stay informed. When you want to go against the grain and you want to be Rambo, you're going to take shots, and it's defeating. It's disheartening. It's defeating. Don't do it to yourself. Put the pride aside. When we first wanted to do a Kickstarter, we sat down with JD Calderon. We did the 3 episodes. We took some notes, and our first Kickstarter, our first outing was successful, and we've been successful. Knock on wood, ever since with a funding. Right. Again, we're not some of the bigger names out there, but we achieve our goal. Our goal is to get the funding to produce the books, to get into people's hands, and that's what we do. And not trying to deviate. Now, and we learned along the way. I've made some mistakes. Some of my Kickstarters had so much in it, right? It was just like goulash. Like, what am I looking at, Sam? And then so I simplified it. If you watch, the next campaign is going to be even more simple than the last. So check out those episodes, guys out there and girls out there who are looking to launch their own Kickstarters, your own Kickstarters. Go out there, check out those episodes, talk to some people. There's some people that do it really well. Reach out to the Dustin Brunels, the Daphne Lages, the JD Calderons. There's some people that really, really do it well. And all you have to do is ask, or just go to Kickstarter and read. They provide you with the information to do it, and to be successful. Just follow the playbook. That's it. Nothing else. Simple. It'll make your life easier. So that's that. Those are the pages for the next issues. And again, George is in Chicago. He'll be back next week. There'll be some changes to the Cash the Craze lineup in 2023 based on the fact that I'm going back to work. But we're celebrating episode number 500 coming up soon. And again, if you want to enter for a chance to win a hoodie or a pillow or some cool swag from us on episode 500, show us your best dance routine to our opening track to Catch the Craze, the show. Write your own jingle for Catch the Craze, or come up with some sort of comedy skit of me and George for the Catch the Craze episode. And we're going to put all of you guys into the spinner, George's fancy spinner. And, we're not going to say who's the best, who's the worst. We're just going to throw you all in there and for a chance to win some cool stuff. And so we would love for you to join us there. And again, if you are a fan of Duty, send us your best selfies, a video testimonial, written testimonial, or if you want to come on next Tuesday on the live stream when we launch issue number 4 for 5 minutes. We'd love to hear you talk about why you enjoy Duty so much and who your favorite characters are. Just let me know you're interested, and I'll send you the link. We already have a few guests coming on. And again, 5 minutes at a time. It's an hour and a half stream. We're starting at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. We're finishing at 9 Eastern Standard Time, p.m., which is 6:30 Central to 8 Central. And I love to have you on the show. So with that said, I'm going to cut this one early. That's a good 35 minutes since I have nothing else and no one has any questions. I wish you guys a great Happy New Year weekend. Stay warm, stay safe, stay healthy. And remember, man, dream big. And a dream is only a dream until you put action to it. So take some action, have some fun, and remember to thank those around you who've been supportive. Don't forget to say thank you. I appreciate every single one of you. You guys have a fantastic day.